A very good morning, children. How are you? This is your SST teacher, Sonia Verma from Springfields Public School. Before we start with the SST syllabus, let me first congratulate you all for being promoted to class 7. And I do hope that you are fine and taking good care of yourself. Before we move on to our chapter, let me first show you the front page of your SST books. This is your civics book, geography, and your history book. Today we are going to start with the first chapter of history, that is the medieval world. So now take out page number 3 of your history book. Let us start from the beginning. The study of the past is divided into periods. So as you can see that the study of past is divided into 3 periods. First is the ancient period, which you have studied in class 6. Then second is the medieval period, which you are going to study in class 7. And third is the modern period, which you will be studying about in class 8. The period that lies between the ancient and modern periods of history is known as the middle or the medieval period. In India, the medieval period stretched from the beginning of the 8th to the end of the 18th century. That is for nearly 1100 years. So from 8th to 18th century, we have total 11 centuries, and since one century is equal to 100 years, so that comes to about 1100 years. The 8th century is generally taken as the beginning. Why do we take the 8th century only as a beginning? Because society, economy, polity, religion and culture, all these things, they underwent many changes during this century. So that is why we have taken it as a separation. Similarly, the 18th century witnessed still more changes. So we have taken the 18th century as the beginning of the end of the medieval period and also the beginning of the modern period. The medieval period is divided into early medieval period and late medieval period. The early medieval period stretched from the 8th to the 13th century. The Palas, the Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and Rajputs were the powerful ruling dynasties during this period. So you can see here all these different dynasties which were spread through the whole of India. The late medieval period lasted from the 13th to the 18th century. It covered the rule of the Turks, the Afghans and the Mughals. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is the many names of India. Our country is commonly referred to as Bharat, India or Hindustan. It is, however, interesting to note that India was known by different names at different points in history. Bharatvarsh and Jambadvip are two of the earliest names by which our country was known in ancient times. India was also known as the land of the people who lived along the river Sindhu. The Sanskrit word Sindhu was pronounced Hindu in Old Persian, and Hindu and French became Indi. This word came into English as India. The way we understand Hindustan today is quite different from what it was understood in medieval times. For example, according to some medieval scholars, Hindustan comprised territories that were part of the Delhi Sultanate. On the other hand, Babur, the founder of Mughal Empire, used the term Hindustan to describe the geography and natural vegetation of the subcontinent. So the word Hindustan was used in different meanings by different people. It was only in the 19th century during the British Raj that Hindustan came to be used synonymously with India, that Hindustan signified the whole of India, which was at that time known as India. So children, that is all for today. Do take a reading of this chapter Next time we are going to start with major historical developments in this chapter. Thank you. Take care. See you soon. Have a nice day.